Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hey, friends.
You've got me here. I'm Rachel Siegel, and I'm joined by...
I'm Cynthia Thornton from Green Girl Studios.
So good to have you here.
Thanks, Rachel. It's
We're
fun to be
together.
here. I know.
We're
the
side
last
by
time
side.
It was in last Tucson. Remember at the show, Ava's show? That was a good time.
That was so much fun. Yeah,
we had a great time.
We had to do it again this year. So we have a lot of beads in front of us, some beautiful medals from Green Girl Studios that Cynthia designed. And we're just going to be creative today, and we're going to make. This is our first class of the week in Tucson for Sam's Bead Shop. So I hope you'll join us every day at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, or you can catch the replay on YouTube, and you'll get lots of inspiration for what to do with your Tucson goodies and other inspiration. So it's going to be a full week. How has your first few days been in Tucson?
It's been pretty hectic, but that's Tucson. When you come out to Tucson, you kind of have to expect, I rented an electric vehicle, and now I'm discovering that there aren't that many chargers.
They're not too into the electric here yet.
Yeah, so that's been kind of it's almost like a comedy of errors, like going and like trying to look for these charging stations, and I've never done this. So
yeah. Did you drive the car out to here?
I didn't. We flew in and we got it from the airport. And at first we were like, holy cow, it's like a spacecraft.
Yeah.
And it really is. It's really fun to drive. They're like go-karts practically. And it's fun to have, they're so super quiet. So it's like a different experience.
And there's like big wide roads here. Like you could speed along those.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, we're staying pretty close in town, really close to all the shows.
Oh, nice.
So it's been easy, but finding that charging was a big a challenge. One of the things, it's like a fun thing about Tucson is that you're trying to mind a lot of things. Like you have your shows that you want to go to. You're trying to list and find them on the map, and then your vendors that you want to find. So it's kind of
all the
like
friends that you need to make sure you see.
It's like a video game a little bit, you know? Like you get these side quests. You're like, okay, so main objective, get to Gemma. And then another side quest. Okay, I have to drop Azalea off, go to do this.
Your
live.
daughter.
My daughter,
and
Azalea.
Your business teammate.
All right, yeah. So we're like dividing today. So Azalea's going out and she's picking and finding and getting things for our live events. And we usually do one every Sunday night, Eastern time at 7. Okay. But yesterday we did some where we walked around African Village.
Oh.
And it was a lot it's like a visual feast for your eyes.
Yeah.
You will not believe. If you want to take a look, you can look at the Green Girl Studios Facebook page. It should be there.
Great.
Or Kate Richberg's page. And you can take a look and see how it goes. It's a different experience.
I got to go there last year.
It's different.
Oh, yeah. Like it's beads, and way more. I mean, there's furniture, fabric, clothing.
And people dress in traditional wear. So it's pretty, you feel kind of, you're like, oh, I mean, like.
But they have all this cool, like recycled glass beads and like almost like millefiore, like that Italian glass.
There's so many varieties of beads. So
it's very cool.
It's a different experience. Like I think each show is a little bit different. Like we went to Jogs and we did a live where we had our little gimbal, and we're like, going through. And
were you having people like helping you pick out beads?
Well, we weren't picking out beads. We were just like doing a walkthrough, and it was so they could like feel. You could get the feeling of walking through. Yeah. And as I say, this guy's like, I want you guys to have a wonderful day. And I was like, you too. The people here are incredible, aren't they? And like 2 booths later, this lady, she like grabs me and I'm like, oh, it's my friend. And she's like, you cannot be taking pictures. And I was like, I'm not in your booth, lady. I mean, I'm like in the row. And she's like, and she's shaking the heck out of me. The camera's going wild. Yeah. I'm like, she's like rattling my teeth. So it was kind
of. You're like, well, you get a little bit of everybody here.
I was like, see, folks, it's not all just sunshine and rainbows. Yeah. Sometimes you get a little bit of the crazy. And in the comment section, it was so funny. They were like, the people were like, you need to get that black tourmaline to keep the crazy away. I'm like, I know. Where's my black tourmaline?
You need your crystals.
I need some crystals.
Yeah.
Her energy was like,
oh my God. You're like, I'm not shopping there. Goodbye.
Like, listen,
you lost a customer.
All kinds here. Yeah. All kinds.
Yeah.
So,
if folks, a lot of times we're like, oh, we're going to Tucson. This is Tucson. I feel like some people don't even know what we really mean. So like when we say we're going to Tucson, it's a gem show but it's many, many gem shows that cover the city. Like
it's, I think 50. I got the Tucson guide, so like, and I'm pretty sure I counted 50.
Okay.
And so
like imagine like one, you know, you conference hall filled with vendors with all of their offerings, all their gems, but then take that and multiply it over and over. There's a whole bunch of those. But then there's all these unique ones like African Village, and they like, you know, that specialize in different stuff.
Yeah, we're going to go to one called and I was like, is this the real name for it? Because it was like Indian Expo. And I was like, is that PC? But then they're like, they named it.
Yeah.
So I was like, well. So
is it all like gems?
Turquoise. It's native. It's indigenous people. So we're going to head over there. And I haven't been to it.
Native American,
but they called it like, I guess that's what, you know, however they want to do it. You know, it's good. Yeah. Maybe have like carved turquoise, probably
like arrowheads or
maybe, I don't know. I haven't been to it in probably 10 years. Yeah. It's been a long time. They've moved locations a few times or maybe twice. I don't know. I don't keep up with it. But
I flew in last night, like very late. So this is day one for me. All I've seen is our beautiful house that we're renting, and got to hang out with Sam and Jesse and Shira as they were getting the live sale ready. And I've been focused on getting this first class ready. So I'm having fun so far, but I haven't seen anything. So I have a lot to see this week.
I'm excited. You'll have a good time. I think. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's definitely a good time.
This week, I'm going to be here for like a whole week, even the weekend, to have plenty of time to eat. I want to do some sightseeing this time, not just shopping.
And there's good food here too.
Yeah,
there's good food, good Indian food, good.
Yeah, I enjoyed the
Ethiopian food. It's good world food.
Yeah, I remember, especially when I went like near one of the colleges, they had a lot of good food. Yeah,
you know what, we passed by and I'd forgotten about it. It was called the Comida Park. So it's a food truck park.
I wonder if I went to that. I think I did.
Maybe last year.
Yeah, I think I did.
I think it's in the near Gem Mall in Holiday. But it's all food trucks.
They're so good.
A great big parking lot, and then with like picnic tables in the middle, and you could try out all different kinds of, you know. I was like, okay, so I've got sopapillas over here. It's all like sweet food. You know? It's like, I'm trying not to eat sugar, but I was like, listen, there's a lot of sweets going on here. Yeah. So
nice.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, I saw a comment saying, "Where's my red hat?" I left it in the car.
Is that your classic?
No, I bought a hat at African Village, and I'd never seen they had a scarlet. They have hats there too. So clothes.
I mean, this hat is fabulous. Oh, it has is that a C for Cynthia?
You know what? There's a C on it. It's not for me. It's for the hat brand, and I can't remember. It was like Crazy Horse or something. I don't remember
it also looks like a horseshoe too.
Yeah, it was pretty. And one of my lives, I showed how to do like hat bands.
You added those?
Yeah, I made the hat band. It's actually
so cool.
braided.
Yeah.
I had recycled sari silk and
too creative.
Leather. You could do a bunch of different things. A friend of mine was like, why not do silver silk in that mix? And I was like, listen,
add some pipe chain. Good idea.
If you have a strip that you don't, just to measure around your hat, you don't have to go over like the full tassel. Like I didn't trim it, so it just hangs down. I just left it. But they're fun. And I made a bunch of them. We were decorating our hats.
Oh, that is great. Yeah, you are ready for Tucson. You've got the outfit. You've got the look.
I'm so ready.
Yeah. So today we want to be creative. We're buying all these beads, buying all these gems, and the whole point of them is to inspire us to get making. So we're going to show off these new toggles that Cynthia designed that we launched in the shop this morning, and some beads, and we're going to make. So I'm going to head on our other camera. You can tell us about these toggles.
Oh, yes.
So let's see.
Oh, and the fun, I'm actually wearing a necklace with the toggle in question. Yes. But on this one, I made this one custom for myself. Sometimes I'll do a handful in silver, and we'll sell them during our live on Sundays. So this one is set with a sapphire.
Here, I'll make the other one bigger, and then you can just hold it under this camera. There we go.
So this one is set with a sapphire, but this is how it normally looks
in the antique pewter.
In the antique pewter, it looks just as good, I think.
So really cool. Pretty. It's a nice large size.
And it's easy to work with. So the mechanism goes like this. So you're like this.
Okay, so you make a loop.
You have a loop of some sort, and you come in where it's the width of this diameter right here. See that? So you can go like that.
That is so secure there. It's not going anywhere.
It's not. I mean, because you have to do this, you have to twist it this way and come through.
I mean, it's kind of like you think of a toggle bar and a toggle ring.
Right.
It's kind of like the toggle bar, but with this extra curve.
That keeps it from just sliding off.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's very secure. It's very easy to use.
Will you show all three, actually? These, and then,
So this is a similar... I make these necklaces and I sell them at art fairs around Asheville and like surrounding areas. Sometimes I get up to the Bay Area and do them with my friend Jess. See, look at how that goes.
So good. That's the mushroom toggle.
And you could see like you'd have to make an effort because you have to twist.
Toggles are like some of my favorite things that you make because I love the mix of like the practicality, the function with like a decorative thing. Like you make it so like you don't need to hide your clasp. Like you almost, I mean, you were wearing it I think the clasp was like on the front.
Yeah. You know what I like about this? The reason I made this is I make necklaces that can be worn where, I'll just show you this one. So I've taken the colors and this side is like purples and pinks and reds. This side is green and blue and black. And I can switch it. So the clasp can be in the front, the clasp can be in the back. So it can be anywhere.
Depending, what you want to feature then.
Right. So whatever you're wearing, you can kind of move it around. And I like necklaces like that. So if you like that idea too, then this is a good clasp to use for that. It's like two necklaces. You're not really bound by any rules, so to speak.
Yeah.
And you know what I'd heard? I'd read this study that most people see you from the back of your head. It's true. It's true. They look more at the back of your head than the front of your head.
I guess no one wants to make eye contact.
I guess so. I don't know, but I'd heard that. And I was like, you know what? I kind of think that's true. Because I'll look up and I'll see Azalea's back of her head, and you can see that clasp right there on the back of your neck. So,
and I'm going to just show people where they can pick these up. So let me swing this camera over to my tray. You'll get a little peek at what I started. So I just wanted to show you guys, if you open up the Sam's Bead Shop app, this is what the front of it looks like. And then you'll want to press shop at the bottom. And then, when you press shop, it'll go to here. You'll have this list of different pages. And I made sure to put right at the top, Green Girl Studios. And this is where you can find everything that we're featuring today. So at the top, this is the class you are watching right now, if you click that link. And then these are the 3 toggles. So right now, go back. All right. Oh, it looks like now they all have wait lists. So we launched these this morning. People who joined our live sale got first dibs, but join the wait list. You still might have a chance of getting some because not everyone's checked out. Plus, we're going to do a reorder and get you guys casting some more of them. So get on the wait list to make sure you have first dibs when we restock it. And then right under that are all of the gems and check glass that we're going to be playing with today. And then also, this is all of the Green Girl Studios stuff we carry. We actually have quite a bit. A really nice collection with more to come. And then lastly, at the bottom are the classes we've already done with Cynthia. So if you like the knotting in that green and purple necklace,
you can learn how to do that in that class. I teach how to do that.
A great knotting 101 class. And then for some more design inspiration, we played around with this bunny moon. So we started a little collection. Oh yeah, here's the piece.
Yeah, that came out good.
It came out great. So I've decided to just put it all in one place so you can find any class that we've done with Cynthia. So that's how to find it. But Rachel Malice is also helping us out today and dropping some links in the video. So I think we have to start designing.
Let's get in there. Let's get in there.
Start cutting stuff open.
All right. I love this color. I've used these before. It's really pretty. Let's see. Let's get a little bold to put that in there.
Yeah, these are 6mm rounds.
Pretty cool. So what I like to do when I've done different design challenges where they're timed and you're competing against 12 people. Those are really fun, but they can be stressful. Yeah. And the good part about that, though, is that you don't have time to mess around and
you
don't have time to second guess yourself. You just get those beads down. All right, man down.
They're flying.
Okay, so those
That's the Amazonite. And then
this is the check glass you have here.
Those are Baroque cuts, the aqua opal with Picasso.
Yeah, those are really pretty. I like how they have a nice glow to them. Really pretty.
Yeah,
and these looks like a more Amazonite.
That one's Aquaterra.
Aquaterra, I mean, yeah.
And they come in a 15-piece set, and we try to include like a variety of lengths and colors. And
nice,
the Carnelian donut.
Love it.
Got there. Yeah, so you can like take very unique things and unique shapes and make them work together. And so I was like, if anyone can figure out how to make donuts and these top drilled sticks work together in design, it's going to be Cynthia. So.
I'll make it work.
Yep.
Make it work.
I wanted to see what so there's still a mini challenge in this.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a challenge. Yeah. But I think.
Yeah. And to Cynthia's left, I made a whole little like feast, a smorgasbord.
There's all kinds of tools and things.
Wire, stringing, leather. So she can go in any direction she wants. I try not to limit the possibilities.
Yes, I like that. I like that there's a lot of potential here.
So we're going to start by just being creative, designing, and then we'll make sure to like teach you how to use these clasps and how to do that. So
yeah, it's very easy.
Tips on that later.
Yeah, it's an easy, nice. Fun.
Good.
At first I thought maybe down here, but that's been done quite a few times. Okay. So I'm going to go and look and see about, what I love doing? I wonder if this would fit like a seed bead loop on either side. That might be pretty.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe graduate them.
Yeah,
maybe like
right
this.
Now we're just going to play around, lay things on the tray.
I like it. And one of the fun things is I might do, like, I love an asymmetrical clasp too.
Have the clasp like on one side.
So it's kind of decorative. I mean, it is decorative. It's not like a lobster claw that you're like, oh, better put that in the back.
Yeah, I was hoping you would use one of these for the class today.
Sure.
I'll grab those. I know, I want to see what you do with that one. And then I think I'm going to use the bird.
Perfect.
I'm making the call. That's what I want to use.
So I usually, when I'm working with stones, when I first see them, I lay them out. I just see what I'm feeling, You want to look at them and see how they'll lay. Because sometimes, when you lay them down, they might not do exactly what you think they're going to do.
Yeah. And then sometimes you might realize the hole's in a different place than you thought too.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Sometimes that happens. You're like, oh, this is a 1-hole bead. Oh, it's actually 2-hole,
Yeah, sometimes it's a nice surprise.
Yeah. But yeah, these are just drilled at the top, so they'll hang down nicely.
I like it. I like that cut.
Very smooth.
It's like a dagger, I guess.
Yeah.
Like a little dagger. Yeah, they're pretty. They have this is a very Tucson mix, I think. I usually like to do, and another thing, this is just me, but I like them to have, how would you say this? Not asymmetry, but not even numbers for some reason. I think that is pretty common, that people would say, oh, I don't know, you don't want to have like, 4 and 4. It's better if it's like 3 and, 5.
And more on one side than the other.
Like this is going to be 5, I think. I think that looks good. So what I'll do is
I see you kind of made a color gradient.
Yeah, I like a gradient.
I saw you put the red right in the middle.
I can't resist. If there's a color gradient, I'm in it to win it.
Thank you all so much for folks who are joining us live. We've got, looks like over 120 people across the Facebook channels and the YouTube channel. So thank you all for joining us live. And also thank you if you're coming out and hanging out with us on the replay. We really appreciate it.
It's a lot of fun. It's a good way to, if you're kind of, I watch a lot of these videos and I think they're kind of fun because every time I'll watch some from Soft Flex or I'll watch them from, like I've watched yours and they give me they're fun in that you get to see how other people work. Now, this is colorful, this Soft Flex here. It's already kind of, if you wanted to, you could make this where the line is almost invisible.
Yeah, especially with that carnelian.
It would almost, I don't know. I kind of love that. Yeah. I know. Look, it's like almost perfect. But let's see what happens. This is one of my favorite things to do. You know, I did not bring my Optivisors, so I'm going to be doing this. Or maybe I'll do this in.
Yeah, I was like, let me give you the tiniest seed beads possible.
I was like, boy, she picked the small ones. But you know what? I like it. I like that size because it'll definitely fit in that hole that is in the center of that donut.
Do you have the flush cutters over there?
I do.
I'm making over here too, so I got to cut open some strands.
So what I'm doing here is I'm going to string up a variety of these different, I might just go same color or like a mix because it might be cool. I'm not picking necessarily exactly. I'm going with some of the red and the purple. I think that goes pretty well.
Yeah, this is for folks who are curious. This was the seed bead mix that we made to match actually our November box last year, which was inspired by the Mookaite gemstone. So it's meant to bring out some of those colors. I
like Mookaite. Yeah. That mustard color is, you know what it goes so well with is weirdly, it's like reds and teal, I feel like. Don't you think?
I don't know if I've done Mookaite with teal, but I kind of get it. Yeah, I kind of see that.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this through and I'm going to measure and see how well that works.
Yeah. Can I have you pass me one more thing? That blue spool of, yeah, there we go. I'm getting inspired.
Yeah, you'll see. This is an easy, fun. And you can see that's took like, it would be faster if I had like magnification to really get in there and see those because they're pretty small. These are, what size is this from this mix?
Those are 11-0 Miyuki.
Yeah, they're very
quite small, 11-0 rounds. And we're using medium soft flex. This is the garnet color that was in our trio for our January box.
Okay, so what I'm doing here, and I flipped it. I put two on there that were a different color. I actually like it.
A little pop, yeah.
A little pop. So I'm going to, I think that looks good. I'm going to trim.
Trying to find the perfect spot for you all to see everything. There we go.
I'm going to cut a little extra. You cut right here.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to do it right there.
Thank you.
Oh, no. Try. There we go.
I need a little
right here in the middle. Yeah, mine started, I was going to make a bracelet, but now I think it might turn into a necklace. So.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that.
I think this might be a multi-strand necklace. We'll see what happens. Or it'll be a multi-strand bracelet. I don't know yet.
Okay. So I'm going to thread this crimp through one side. And I'm going to find it on the other. Right in here.
I see we're crimping this loop right on to the
We're going to crimp that in there. We're going to secure it.
Nice.
We're starting from the middle.
Yeah.
And the good part about starting from the middle is that you can kind of figure out how long you want it to be. Now, say I made this too short. Say I was silly and made that way too short. You know what I could do? I could hook that onto a piece of
like some chain,
some
silver
leather,
silk, yeah.
Whatever you want.
Some
ribbon. Okay. I'm going to switch hands. Sometimes there are these, do you guys have those little things to hold it? Because sometimes that's useful. I can't remember what they're called.
The clips for the string.
Yeah, like holding that. Like there's a little clip that you can do. I don't know what that's called.
For holding the crimp bead.
Right. Well, no, it's not for holding it. Just holding in general.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know.
Now, careful not to crush your seed beads because I've done that, and that's not good to do. So it's basically making a little taco. I don't know if you can see that. You're making it, you flatten it, and then you fold that over. But I've often cracked seed beads. So what I'm doing is I'm checking that I'm not hitting any.
Yeah, make sure none of the seed beads are in the tool.
In there, because they can crack easily. So I've secured that. Sometimes, you know what I do is I flatten them. This makes a perfect little cylinder, and I like how that looks. So we've got one side.
Perfect.
All right, I'm going to check what this looks like. Ooh, you know what? Maybe I'll put one of these in there to hide it. Sometimes I like to hide crimp tube. If any of these fit, I'll just check. Sometimes it doesn't. Doesn't look like those are any big enough. No, this one might be. Let's check it. But you know, if it doesn't, it doesn't matter. In the pewter it doesn't. Piece. Yeah, it doesn't really matter if it does, but sometimes it looks more finished.
Yeah,
but
if you have a crimp cover, you could do that too.
I don't know. Do I like that? Let's go and see about this size. A lot of times when I'm making, I will try out several ways and see what things look like before I commit. All right. I'm going to clip that little extra off. I hope that didn't get you.
No, we're luckily. I think it went flying to the fridge. We're next to the kitchen here in our Airbnb house.
I'm going to go on this side. So sometimes you'll notice that a bead will be drilled a little bit bigger on one side than the other. Use your big side to tuck that tail in. That way it's not out. Yeah. It's a little more finished. So see here, I don't know if you can see that there's a little piece. Sometimes I'll leave it longer. This does not have a long, you can't fit very much through that one or like double this cord. So you want to just tuck that little bit in. Just like that. It fit perfectly. So I have a decision to make. I could go in and kind of stack these like this, or I could separate them. Let's see what it looks like if I just go in direct without any kind of...
Oh, without any spacers?
Without any spacers, because it might give it a good, like, I kind of like how it does that feathering. It looks like a feather or leaves stacked up.
Kind of angles them out, probably. Yeah, these long sticks, someone is asking, they are Aquaterra top drilled sticks. And so if you check out check out the links in the description of the video, you can find all these beads on our site.
Yeah, I like how that looks.
Oh, that's really cool.
So see when it's kind of tight, you get...
It's like, that fanning out.
It fans out. So I think that looks good. So what I might do is maybe I'll do these.
Yeah, just so you guys know, Cynthia saw these beads like 10 minutes before we started. Like, basically this was just like, here are beads, go for it. And this is pretty impressive what's happening here after like no warning, no preparation.
Oh no, I'm used to it. I'm used to it. That's how, when we do shows and I would bring with me tools.
Yeah.
And that's it. Tools and findings. Okay. And then I would just buy beads on the spot.
Oh, well, from the other vendors who are also selling.
And that way I was like, all right, well, I could send them over to get these beads and I wouldn't have people saying, hey, where are those from?
You're like, from right over the corner.
So it was perfect.
Yeah.
All right. And what I'm doing now is I'm testing how this is going to look. I'm not committing to anything yet. So I think I would probably like to do more of that. Maybe more of these. So that's just a test. I'm just looking to see how that's going to line up. And I think that little pop of gold between those what are these called? Rondelles? Not.
The little yellow ones?
This blue.
Oh, that's Aqua Opal Baroque cut.
Oh, Baroque cut. I don't think I've seen that cut. I like it.
Yeah, it's unique.
The yellow of this fluted melon is picking up some of the colors here.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that mustardy yellow.
I love that color. I never thought I would say that because I used to be like, what a gross color. Yeah. But now I'm like,
this one was actually also in our Mookite inspired box. So that's where we had all the mustard beads.
Yeah, it looks good. It's fun to do these challenges for yourself. It keeps you on your toes, I think.
Yeah.
Instead of
if you have out of your head, if you're just kind of like overthinking it as you're designing. I really like the challenge of like, all right, just put it on timer for yourself. Say like, all right, I'm just going to have a necklace made in the next hour. I'm just going to let what happens and not overthink it. And I think if you're feeling stuck in your making, I think just like a timer with a small goal is a great way
Exactly.
Just start making.
And I think too, if you have a tendency to pick the same colors like I do, I love picking things like teal and red together. I love those two.
Actually, I'm kind of curious what your favorite colors are.
Or what your go-to are. I have a lot of favorites.
Yeah.
And so I think it's fun to sometimes get out of my comfort zone. And I'm often surprised by what all I find myself choosing out of. Like this mix, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I just looked at it and thought, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And I think I like this. So
what's your pattern right now? It's just the Baroque and the melons.
The Baroque and the melon, and possibly, you know what might look good. And one of the other things is that once you make something, or once you're doing, like you're designing, I'm not married to this. I can easily go in and take this off and start again. But I actually happen to like it.
Yeah.
And so I have a decision to make. I can keep going with this pattern, or I noticed Rachel had some.
Yeah, got some leather cord.
Some leather cord here. And I thought, you know what? That might be cool too. So one of the things that's kind of cool is to get this with a mixed, what you call mixed materials, mixed stringing. And I think I like that. But you know what? I only have 2 of those, and I don't know if I can live with that.
2 of what?
2 of that
of the Amazonite?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
You got plenty of them.
I know. That's not going to work.
Add more.
I'm going to put more.
Yeah.
And I might go, I love gradating. So it's.
I know. Well, you continue. It's going from the red and it's easing into the blues.
And I'm going back into the brown. See, I'm doing that. I'm going in because I'm going to do a transition. I'm going to transition that. But that's just my way of laying out. You know, there's a lot of different ways to do it. Okay, so I have this much. So I think that this would fit like right at the front of your neck. You know what I mean? Like right at your collar. So if you wanted, you could easily finish this out. And that would be a piece of cake. I could finish that out. Or I could make a loop like this, crimp it with seed beads, right? And add cord.
Yeah.
So I think that might be cool. So in order to do that, I'm going to put a crimp.
And then will you just knot the cord?
I'll knot it. So there's a few different ways you can do that. And I will show you. So now I have another decision. Do I want to use these beads to imitate, to do what, like a callback, I guess, of this, or I might have enough to do this.
Yeah, just use the melons.
Or, you know what? This cord is bright and pretty, and it would be a easy thing to like kind of tuck that in there, and it wouldn't be like, oh, that's kind of unfinished. It would not look terribly unfinished, I don't think.
No, you could show off the color.
Yeah, I mean, there used to be in the 90s, I don't know if you ever saw these, but they used to make necklaces called invisible, or what were they called, like floating necklaces, where you would use a piece of light cord and then float some crystals with crimps all the way around, and you'd have pieces of cord showing. You'd have like sections of it, so it's kind of decorative too.
Yeah, I've always been intrigued by those. Yeah, where you use like a lot of crimps.
Oh, an illusion necklace, an illusion, because the cord would be like a teeny pop of color. You know, I haven't seen that in a really long time. That kind of illusion necklace look.
No, I know what you mean. Yep, Kimberly says illusion. That's the name.
Oh, our friend. Yes.
They're saying hi in the comments.
All right, so I can make that as large or as small as I feel like making it, you know? So that's a really small loop. Maybe I'll add a couple more. And that way I have a little bit more room, and that should hit right at the collarbone, I think. And it could be longer. This time I'm just dragging the cord through the seed mix and just grabbing what comes. And I added that crimp right down here.
Oh, before you put the seed beads on.
Before I put the seed beads.
That is a good thing to remember to do.
Otherwise, you have to redo it.
Yeah.
No fun. All right. Go back through. If you can go through your bead here, that's a good way to keep that tail from popping. But if you can't, you could always use a little drop of like E6000 or something to secure it, or whatever glue. Sometimes it keeps it from wiggling, wiggling loose. But if you crimp it tight enough and you use a good quality like Softlex, you should not have any problems. That's one of the things I like about Softlex is I've never had a necklace break.
Nice.
And I've been making these necklaces for, I don't want to say how long, Rachel, but it's been over 20 years.
Yeah. Years and years of creativity.
Years and years. So here's the thing. You don't want to make this too tight. It's one of the mistakes I've seen people do is they'll put this and they'll tighten that up as for all they're worth. But what you want to do is kind of wiggle it, give it a little play and see. Because if it's too tight, it'll be stiff and it won't have the kind of fluidity that you're looking for, or at least I'm looking for. So before I cut this, don't cut it yet. Crimp it. I keep doing, you know what, I'm doing this. I'm like trying to put my optivisors back. There's no
You're not
optivisors.
trying to tip your hat to everyone.
I'm not tipping my hat, but I could. All right, now I'm going to do the crimp. I do not want to accidentally crush any of the beads. So I'm looking and making sure that it's tight. So I'm flattening it. There's a ridge, and then you close it up and keep it nice and what's the word I'm looking for? I'm rounding it. I'm just rounding it and making it perfect and keeping it tight. Okay, so there you go. That one, let me see, test it. If there's any wiggle and there's any play, then I know I need to tighten it even more. Because sometimes this can be, you'll be like, oh, it looks like I finished it, but it's actually a little bit loose. So it's good to use these little things to make sure that you have a nice, perfect little cylinder. Yeah.
Well, I think you might be are you at a good pausing point that I could show people what I have going on?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, we'll swing this over. You guys can look at the other bead tray. Ooh, I like how that looks on camera. Happy with that. Let's see, what's causing this shadow here? Oh, actually, yeah, I'm not sure. I might not be able to fix that, guys. Sorry about that, but I won't be showing my thing for too long. All right, so this started out, you guys saw earlier that I'm using all beads from our January Sam's Bead Box, Turquoise Trails. We still have some more of this box if you want to purchase a January box for yourself. So I started with this one, mixing in our magnesite, the picture jasper, and the carnelian on a strand. And I thought I was just going to make that into a bracelet. But then I started stringing up this yellow jade star cut beads. And I was like, oh, but that looks so nice together as a multi-strand piece. So I think I want that and laying. And then I think I want your help once you teach us how to use these toggles to figure out how to make the bird on the side here. It's kind of my idea for
it looks good
for adding that.
I like it on the side.
That's because I wanted to show off. So I guess that will be where someone puts on the necklace rather than on the back. Okay, but this is where I need your help and the people in the audience. So I was trying to decide, I know this is very subtle, but I was trying to decide how I wanted the picture jasper. So if you see here, I have it on both sides. Let's try to zoom in a little bit more. So this is all about, testing it out, seeing what I like. On this one, I have the picture jasper on both sides of the carnelian, but then here I only have it on one side. And I was trying to decide, I want to do the same thing for all of them. I think I actually like it just on one side. I kind of like it a little more subtle, asymmetric.
Yeah, I think, you know, if you ever look at Sundance, you ever get that catalog, Sundance catalog?
No.
Well, there's a lot of, if you guys ever want to see some really fun designs, I get this catalog called Sundance. And it's a lot of beaded and Southwestern inspired type necklaces. It's Robert Redford's little company, I guess, from the 70s. I don't know all the details, but I get it in the mail, and I've been getting it for I don't know how many years. And I like to look at how people string their stuff, and I've noticed that there's a trend in that one to do asymmetrical type lineup where this would be there. I mean, it's not
like you would think, oh, I should put the picture jasper on the other side of this carnelian.
Right. But you have a lot of options. You know what I've been doing a lot of lately is I would do like 3 of those and then, like groupings.
Yeah.
Just because it seems like it's really easy to go symmetrical.
Yeah.
And it's comfortable. I think it's the first place our brains tend to go is looking for symmetry. And in nature, sometimes you don't have.
Yeah. Let me know, you guys, in the comments. And obviously, there's no right or wrong answer. So let me know, do you like it? Do you like having the picture jasper on both sides or only on one side of the carnelian? You can let me know your vote. And I'll have to decide which way I want to go. So, and I think what I love is since I'm making this on my first day in Tucson, I can just wear it this week. So
perfect.
It's the perfect colors. So that's where I am. I'm going to swing the camera back over. I love it. It's pretty easy to do.
That's good because you don't want to fight for your life to get that going. All right. I'm doing the same thing where I'm beading a section of cord. But what I'm doing is I'm using my pinky and I'm locking it so the things don't slide off. Now, if you knit or crochet, you'll recognize that move.
Wait, show that again.
See my palm open?
It's holding. Yeah, because we don't have any clips. Another option is having those clips for stringing, but
right. Yeah. You can, if you have a little piece of tape or one of those spring, you pinch it and it closes right here and you can easily move it. But since I don't have that, I put this in here. It's kind of a knitting or crochet move. I'm tucking it between my 2 and I'm holding it. So it's not I'm not adding them and they're falling off the other side because I use the other side of what I cut earlier. So I'm not wasting.
Oh, nice.
Because, I hate to waste. But, cord is not that expensive. So it's not something that you should be precious with it.
Yeah, this is not like sterling silver or, 24 karat gold.
Right. And even then, I just dropped that crimp right in there. See if I can find it.
Oh, man. That's a needle and haystack. Oh, very nice.
Found it right away, fortunately. I'm going to test this to see how it looks. These don't have to be exact. If you do want it to be exact, you can always count them and make sure that it lines up. And if there's too many, it's an easy. So it looks like I put too many. See that?
It feels a little bit, compared to the other one. It's
so what I'm looking at is I'm going to try and get them similar. So it looks like 2 or 3 beads on the outside. So I'll need to remove, and I can just line it up like this. And check to make sure that works. And I think it does. And I'll just take off the extra from the other side. And then thread it through. It looks like it will be, I think that's pretty close. Or maybe 2 more beads. Yeah, I almost did that thing where it comes off the end. Just what I was telling you not to do. And I almost did it. All right, I'm going to thread that through the crimp. To secure it. Yeah, this is going to be pretty, I think. Don't you think that's going to look good? Now, I don't need that much of a tail, so I'm going to pull one side and close it up. And I'm being mindful not to crush any of those seed beads. And I usually like to, and this, I've held it so that the piece of soft flex is between each of that side of that crimp. That way, if they're crossed on the inside, it kind of loosens. But even if it is, I don't think I still think it'll be secure. And then you close up and make the cylinder. All right. So you have a choice. You can imitate the other side. I will probably do that on this because it can be, if you make something asymmetrical. Pass me those up.
Oh, yeah.
you want them to kind of stick with your plan. You know, if you're going asymmetrical, go asymmetrical. You don't want to be waffling where you have one side the one way. Not that, you know, that would be wrong. It's just a different design perspective. So again, I put the larger side of the hole where this little piece will come in and tuck in like that. So I'm going to push that in there. Wiggle, and it's tight in. Okay. Now there's another option. If I wanted to hang something from there, that's possible too.
Ooh,
so there's a lot.
You could do a third seed bead ring.
If you want to do a third seed bead ring, you could do leather from that spot. You could do, I see you have some nylon, and let's see, I want to gradate those out. But there's a lot of potential.
Yeah.
A lot of design possibilities. They have a nice, this whole collection looks so good together, I think.
Yeah, I'm liking how it's fitting together.
And they don't have to be exactly the same, you know. See, I don't have two of those that are exactly the same. And I don't think that really is a problem, you know. They don't have to go. Like that could even, if I wanted to, I could have taken this and made less of a, because this one's a little bit shorter than this one. I don't know that it's super noticeable. This is almost the same, but not quite. But I still think it looks good.
Yeah.
And then maybe the shortest one on that side. Yeah.
All right. Well, we are actually, time is flying by.
Oh my.
There's somehow only 10 more minutes of what we've planned to do.
Wow.
So I know. I want to make sure we show people how to use the clasp.
All right. You're going to see me speed through
All right.
this last
there's been so much
section.
This design has so many different parts. And I love it.
Well, you know, I think the longest part of any of these is laying them out.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the part that doesn't take, I mean, the stringing doesn't take, to me, I don't think it takes that long.
Yeah.
It's taking it apart and looking at it.
Yep.
And then being like, do I like this? I don't know. So that's part of it. But I'll get to that point. I think we'll have time, and I'll show you.
Yeah, we can always go a few minutes over. I just want to make sure folks get some of your really good tips for how to use them. And we could also do it on my piece too. I'm going to start stringing some seed beads for a loop.
Yeah, Bonnie, it is fun to be with a friend.
I know, this is so relaxing.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the best things. I think beads, they're one of the earliest and most ancient of art forms. I mean, they've found beads, and they keep finding earlier and earlier. They're like, oh, we thought this was the earliest. No, it isn't. Here's one from like... People
have been decorating and wearing jewelry for so long.
Yeah, they found Viking glass beads. And I was like, they had glass beads? What? What is this?
That's incredible.
Yeah, I was like, oh, and they found them in like Siberia or somewhere where they didn't know. And it was like a cobalt blue glass bead.
Ooh, pretty.
I know. I was like, so people have been decorating themselves
for a long
time. It's like one of the earliest art forms is beading, which makes sense.
I want to give a quick shout out to Rachel Malice. Thank you so much for helping everyone out in the chat, answering everyone's questions and posting the links. So can we all just give Rachel Malice some love? Thank you so much for your help. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always wonderful when you have help out there.
Yeah, we need some buddies for all the tech. Mm-hmm. Can't do it alone.
And don't forget, I'm getting to the point where I'm going to do the other side. So I need another crimp. And before I add those seed beads, I will put a crimp on. So I'm going to string about an inch, and that'll finish that side off. And then I can add the leather.
Ooh, are you going to attach the leather to the other side of the toggle? Like the back side?
Yes. So one of the things that'll be good about that is that you can easily, if you wanted to, there's a few different ways to do it. You could do where it's adjustable by having multiple loops, or you could tie it with that clasp. So part of me, I like to do where you could do it where it's like the clasp is on the front, the clasp could be on the back. And we'll look at it together and see what looks best. So I want about an inch of these. I'm trying to hustle and get those in there. Like, get in there, you. That's the, I need one of those, whatchamacallit things that spin around. I have one. Does those actually work? Because I never tried them. Spin it, and I was like, does it actually do it? Because I'm nothing is getting on that piece of soft flex. Maybe it's like it needs to be like a needle specifically, or like a curved needle or something. Yeah. Because I don't know if that works, but to get those fast, I've found that just picking them like this is pretty fast. You're just using the thread as your needle, right? Right. The cord is the needle. And I'm just going in and finding I'm going for a bead hole that I can see and trying to stab it with the soft lips. I think Sam might be back.
So quiet.
We hear you. Hi, Sam.
You've been listening in the car.
Oh, we're having this has been such a relaxing class, and good way for me to start the week. I love it. Perfect.
We looked up the catalog and we're like, is Cynthia in this catalog?
Yeah. Let's check that one out.
All right. Let's see if I've got it even here. It looks like, yeah. All right. So I'm going to tuck that through. But is that big? Is this the loop that needs to be big enough for the class? No. What we're going to do. Oh, no. I like what you're thinking. That's what I was thinking. Is that okay? Let's do it. Yeah. That's a good idea. That's a great idea. Cool. Okay. We're going to do that. Match. Yeah. No, they don't have to match. Just go all the way across the back. So what you want to do, if you're going to do that, you could put this where the leather hooks up to this side, but you want the diameter, or what would be a better word for that? This width. It has to go through from here to here. Wait, show that one more time. So this is the width you need to find, is this to this, because you're going to go around it. You don't want it too loose, because that kind of gives it I think, I don't want to say sloppy, but it just seems like it doesn't, I don't know. That's my preference. It can be, anybody can pick what they want with that. I'm trying to get as many on there as possible. It seems like I'm only getting one at a time. And I want about maybe an inch and a half. And no stress. We'll just go over a few minutes, and that is totally fine. We want to make sure everyone has all the good info. It won't be much longer. This is the part where it's a little bit time consuming, is to get those seed beads on. All right, let's see if I have enough. Okay, so that's a pretty big loop. Now, if you don't want that, you want to, if you are like, I don't know. So that more than covers it. So I'm going to make it where it fits. Hold that up right there if you don't mind. If you can. I'm testing it. See, what I'm doing now is I'm testing it. It has to fit. It has to go over that hook on the side. This hook here has to have enough. So I'm keeping this tight. I'm going to see where it fits. And so I have extra. I'm going to take those extras off. All right. I think that will do it. Let me see. Now, it's no big deal if it's a little bit bigger, a tiny bit bigger, I should say. So I had a choice. I could have put the leather through both sides, and we'll look at it and see how it looks. If we don't like that, I can easily remove that. It's not a difficult fix if I don't like it. And that's one of the good things about when you're working, how you can kind of take things apart. But I feel like sometimes going back and forth can really be like, it can take the kind of the joy out of your stringing. If you're too much of a perfectionist, then it can kind of take the fun out of it. Yeah, so you keep changing it too many times. Then you get frustrated. Everything starts to look raggedy. All right, so this is what I have so far. I'm gonna move this out of the way, get some space here.
Okay, so just to remind people what you did, you
added
a
extra
crimp bead.
There's a crimp bead. I haven't tightened this. So,
Okay.
this hasn't been tightened. Now, this will fit. Did you see how that worked? So that's what I have right now. And I think that works. I think that I'm going to tighten this up and finish it.
It actually like mimics the shape in the center. Like,
yeah, so
it has a similar feel.
Right, I'm going to, and again, you can just flatten this. So some folks like to do where it's just a flat and it makes a square. In this, since I've done all of these into cylinders, I'm going to repeat that. Again, making sure that I'm not crimping down on any of the beads because that's no fun when you crack a bead on the end. Line it up. And then tighten that. Tighten it up. All right, then trim.
There we go. I got them. I stole them. That's like the most important tool. The cutters.
Those little cutters. Okay, then wiggle that piece in there to hide it. Or you can trim a little. I could probably trim a little closer. You know, I've often accidentally trimmed too much and cut the whole thing. That is really, really annoying.
Yeah,
when that happens, you have to restring that side. All right, I'm going to get some of this leather cord. And
yeah, we're going to have a finished piece.
I think so. I think so.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to make some space here. Now, you can, here's a couple ways to do this. It depends on what your preference is. So you could go in with like this action and you could knot it. That's one way to do it. I have wire here, so I'm going to cut some wire and I'm going to wrap it.
Nice.
If you have a big, like a big crimp, you could crimp it. But I think that I'm going to try and imitate the crimp here by making a wire, like a wire crimp essentially.
Yeah, you'll probably end up squishing it down just like you would a crimp.
All right, this is a little too thick, so I'm going to go with this. I have some of this wire here. I'm going to get about, say, 3 inches or so. You don't need a lot.
That is our 24 gauge German style wire.
All right, so here's a tip for this. This is what I like to do with it. You have about 3 or 4 inches, right? Bend it however long you think you're going to have the length of the coil you're going to make. So I'm going to go maybe like 1/4 of an inch, maybe less. So I'm going to bend it this way. See, I made a bend. Now that's going to make that where it's a little easier to hang on to and easier to wrap. Because sometimes you can be twisting round and round and round, and that's no fun. So to help you get started, and sometimes, you know what, I actually should have made that a little bit longer. Because see, what I was trying to do is hold that.
Okay.
All right. So you pinch this. So I'm going to cut another piece because that's a little.
Oh, you're giving. Oh, I see. You're folding it in a right angle and holding that in the middle of the leather.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
So I cut that too short. So what you want to do, because you can always trim, which I don't know why I didn't remember that part. All right. So I'm going to hang on to it like this.
Sam's lunch is just getting heated up.
It's a 24-hour beef stew.
Okay, so holding on to all of that, you can then go like this. I'm holding on to that tail. See, that tail's underneath. I'm wrapping, and I'm holding it tight.
Yeah. Oh, this is such a good tip for wrapping the leather.
Okay, I'm trying to make this as tidy as possible. Now, if your wrap is not very tight, you can, well, I would say practice, or you could knot it and then wrap. But you can see how that's looking, okay? You can also do one of these type story right here. A little bit of flattening, And that tightens it up too. Okay, so you have this little tail sticking out. What you want to do with that, and you have this. So that was my handle. All right, so with this, you can go back up right through here, cut it a little bit. So I don't know how long that is. It's not that long. Maybe a few millimeter. And you can tuck this on the inside. It's still a teeny bit long. Now, if you don't cut that, if you cut it too long, what ends up happening is you get a little thing that's going to be pokey, and you don't want that thing poking you. So the top of it is inside. See, that was my handle. And I've tucked the other side in. So then what you do is you have that sticking out. Cut it so that you can trim and then tuck that in. Just like that on the other side.
Oh, that looks good.
See,
very professional.
So there it is.
Polished.
Oh, thank you.
I can't believe Cynthia Thornton is designing in our house.
Yes, she
Thank
is.
you.
This necklace has like 5 techniques in one. It's amazing.
Oh.
We've learned so many different tricks.
Right. So here we go. What do you think of that join?
Oh, I love it.
All right. So you have
like
a
the pop of
choice
silver.
right here. You can trim this so that that's kind of tucked in, or you can add something to that. You could trim it closer, or if you knotted it, you could have just had a knot on that side, but I think it looks cleaner like that. And I would just say, let me see. What do you think? Trim or leave it? I'm going to tuck that other side in.
I usually like a little bit of extra leather hanging out.
I do too. So I'm going to leave that because I think that looks pretty good. All right. So now what we have this long length. And the good part of that is that it saves us from having to have cut two leather.
Yep.
And then you don't have to do this and then do the other
figure
side.
out how long each one should be.
What we're going to do is we're only going to do it once.
Yep.
So how long should we make this?
Ooh.
So that's the question. How long do we want
this
it?
to hang?
Let's try it out.
I think I'm going to hang it on me.
Yeah, I do.
All right, let me see. Let me take this one off. Where's the clasp? Oh, here it is. Couldn't find it. Let me make this camera bigger. So we're going to see.
So
All
let's
right.
put this. I can't see the other side of your head. All right, hang on to this piece so we can see how long you want that. So here's what we're doing. We're trying to figure out how long we want this piece. So what we're doing here is hold it and see where do we want this. This is not going to be adjustable because we're fixing that clasp to the end. So find the spot.
I guess I want the carnelian.
Hold this on that side. Hold that cord and figure out
one. But let's see.
You can.
I think I want it like right here.
All right.
Let's see.
Can you grab that other side of it? Here it is in your hand, and then you can.
Let's see. Where is it? Here we go.
All right. So there's a little bit of length, so you can kind of adjust it and look at it.
Let's see. Well, you tell me. How about there? A little longer, a little shorter.
How do you feel? Because it's, if you're going to wear it, you want it to be
a little longer.
You can make it a little longer.
There we go.
Yeah, I think that's pretty.
That's perfect.
I think that looks good.
Okay.
All right. So let me pinch that where you have it.
You got it?
Yeah, I do. Okie dokie.
I'm excited to wear this.
All right.
My hair, though.
On your hair.
There's a lot to get around.
All right. Let me get this side. Okay.
There we
go. Get your hair up, and I'm going to do this. Y'all. It's a little.
Oh my God.
A little awkward, but we
our
managed.
view is the opposite, so just everything's confusing.
All right, so I'm going to put this. I've got so much in my hands, so much extra. All right. So.
Oh my God. I'm wearing this the rest of the day.
We have this much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to double check because I might have missed. I'm going to get up and do this. I'm going to cut this extra. So you know what? Sometimes having all that extra, you don't need that. So I'm going to cut like 4 inches extra like this. And it could be a bracelet amount. So it's not going to go to waste.
Get the hair out of the way.
All right. So we're going to see how this looks again.
Perfect.
You like that? Let's get it centered.
Yep. Yeah, I like that there.
And I'm going to get the clasp.
All right.
So if you're making this for someone, you could easily fit it to their specifications or their measurements.
Yeah, because this is the last step.
This is the last step. And
So
we're going to get it where, and see that fit, not too tight. So now what I can do is I can draw it up exactly.
Yeah.
So
oh, sweet.
What do you think of this length?
Oh, I love it. This is, let's see. Yeah.
You like it? Okay,
like
I'm going to pinch that closed. If I had a piece of tape, I would have taped it.
Yeah.
And to make sure I didn't move it at all. My hand slipped a tiny bit, so I want to make sure that I didn't make it too long or too short.
But yeah, why don't you show people what you were doing there?
Okay, so I'm going to add this, and I'm going to do it the same way.
You were holding it where you wanted it. Okay.
So I'm going to grab a piece. I'm not letting this go because I do not want to lose.
Yeah, isn't that such a statement? People are loving it. It's really cool to see it on. That lays nicely.
I'm going to cut a good, it's like 5 inches or so, maybe. And again, I'm going to do that bend. That's my handle. Tuck it in. And I usually like to go right between the cords, just like that, to hold it. And then see, that makes it easier. And then I'll wrap all the way around. You could do a messy wrap. I call those a messy wrap, where you have beads and things hanging out. You can add little shiny beads in there. And I'm trying to get it where it matches the other side. So I'm not going to do anything that's no overlapping or anything like that. I'm trying to get it as close to the other side as possible. Yeah. So what I did earlier was I flattened it. That's how I got that shape. So this side is a little bit wonky, but I can easily flatten it when it comes time. I'm going to keep it pushed in. And if I'm not happy with that, I can easily go in and do this. Scrunch that thing together. Just scrunch it like that to keep my spring tight. And I think that's how long I made it. Maybe a couple more. All right, I'm going to trim the extra, or actually I'm going to flatten it.
Sorry. Yeah, you got them over there, the blue ones.
Flattening. So a slight, just a little bit to kind of make it so it's not twisted. I don't want it to twist. There we go. Give it a little bit more. Tuck in. It's like I'm compressing it to make the spring look pretty.
And yeah, right now we're using the 2 millimeter thick leather cord. So if you search leather cord on the Sam's Bead Shop app or website, you'll see that we carry it in 1 millimeter, 1.5 millimeter, and 2 millimeter. So it's a nice range of sizes. And there even is some 6 millimeters, some nice thick stuff too, if you want that. But we're using the 2 millimeter. I'm pretty sure this is the warm brown color, which we have some stock of. So you might want to pick that up because that'll pair really nicely with these like aqua terra turquoise colors.
All right. Flip it over.
Okay, well, this is going to be almost done. We'll have a reveal of this necklace. And then I'm just to show you how to make that seed bead loop for the toggle one more time. I've got it prepped over on my station. So we'll show it to you once more, just so you feel super comfortable using the new toggles.
All right. It looks like everything is tucked in. I think I see a little bit, but I'm not sure if that's what I'm trying to tuck that last bit in so it's not scraping your neck. You don't want to have any scraping action.
True.
All right, I'm tucking. All right. Get in there, you. Okay, so now I've got that.
Perfect.
All right, let me trim it to the same size as the other one.
Make sure you cut the right one.
Cut the right one. I was just about to say, don't cut the wrong side.
Yep, we don't want to cut our necklace. Yeah, let's lay that out on the tray so people can see that. You guys, look at this. This is a showstopper. What a cool design.
And right now it's a little stiff with the leather being kind of fresh and new and not, and hasn't had a chance to get pliable.
Angle it too. That helps at all. No, let me lift it up.
Let's see.
Here we go. Got the piece, and then we have the Green Girl Studio, the moon crescent toggle, adding that pop of metal.
So you can see that if you wanted to.
If you made it longer, it probably would do that more.
Yes. Yeah. If you wanted to do this longer, this would have been a little longer.
Yeah, the leather longer.
And this could have had large beads.
You
could
that
also
looks cool too. They're like wings.
That has a very
like wing. Yeah.
So this, I would say, you could even go in and look at this idea.
Yeah.
If we have more time,
coming off.
You could do that.
I know. I love it how it is.
I know, me too.
Really
but that's
like
just an option.
Can I put it on again?
Yes. Yes. But if you wanted to do another thing, say you wanted to go overboard and really do, like you could do that if you wanted to. Or with a contrasting, maybe there's something yellow.
Yeah.
But I like it as it is. I think it really works.
Let's see. Okay, so I can bring this to the front and do the toggle. I don't need to do it in the back. That's nice. Just bring it all the way around. Well, that was very easy. And then let's see.
All right.
It's always hard to get it centered up with the mirrored.
I know. You're like
you always have to pull it the opposite way. All right. Very cool. What a statement.
I know. So if it needs to be shorter, the thing that you would do is you would cut one of the sides and then
redo the leather. Yeah.
So I think that's a good width.
No,
I think it looks good. That side.
Perfect spot.
It looks great.
Okay. Last little bit. We're just getting a little bit of everything in the class. Let me just give you one more demo for the toggle. All right. So I took those 2 strands that I had strung up and I have crimped them onto the whole of this bird toggle. So those are hanging out there, and actually I can trim off the extra now. Okay, that way hopefully you'll be a little less confused. So we got our strands there, and then so I've started to make a loop, but I think I want to make it smaller, but I wanted to get your opinion. So I just tested it out. I made a loop of seed beads, and then the cord is going through that crimp end. So to test it out, I'll just, string it on.
You go in one leg at a time.
And these you can like open a little too, right? If they're too narrow.
If you need to open it, here's how I do it.
Okay.
I'll do like a little bit like this. I'll just take my pliers and do that. Or I'll just go like this, just gently.
Yeah. And try not to mark it.
Yeah, you could even do that where you're just like just a hair.
Yeah.
Just a hair if you need to.
Yeah. Because this one is tighter than that.
It's a little bit tighter, but I made it so that you had a little bit, because the pewter is not too malleable. Difficult to maneuver.
Okay, so that'll just help get the seed beads through. So I'm going to test it out. Put the seed beads through that side. So right now it definitely goes over, and I can fully. It looks like it's just still a little tight on that side, but there we go. So I was able to get it through. But I think it's still a little big, right? Like,
yeah, try
there's a little bit of when I hold it right here, you can see there's a little bit of space before the crimp bead. I mean, it still works, and I could keep it like that, but
so the longer you have it, I think it looks good that way.
Does that look good? Okay.
It doesn't have to be necessarily too tight, but you could remove 4 or 5 of those.
Yeah, I guess it actually does kind of sit nice like that. Okay,
that's
actually, I think I'll keep it.
You can decide because it's not going to come. It's not going to come loose while you're wearing it, because it has to do the turning action to get it off. So, and once right now it's a little stiff. The Softflix hasn't had a chance to get kind of worn into into position. I'd say like kind of smooth.
Yeah,
it's like the leather. It needs a chance to kind of loosen up a little.
All right, let me crimp that down. All right, so I'll have to finish this off later, but just so you guys have a sense of where it's going, this can either be a bracelet or a necklace. A necklace is what I'm planning, a little multi-strand. And then when I want to wear it, this will be the part that I just get a hook on and hook all the way around. And I have this sweet little bird with some colorful beads hanging on it. There we go.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
So there's two bits of inspiration in one today. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let me make us bigger and we will wrap up this extra long, extra fun class. Here we go. Well, here, I am wearing this piece. It looks so good. Thank you, Cynthia, for making it.
Awesome.
I didn't quite expect I'd be walking out the door with a fresh piece.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
I love it. So good. Well, thank you all so much for coming. I just want to remind you, I showed you at the beginning, and actually I can just show it to you again, where to find all these beads. So the easiest way to do this, make this the solo layout again. All right. The easiest way is open up the Sam's Bead Shop app. And then at the bottom, you'll have home, shop, a few options. Go to the shop page. And when you click on the shop page, you get a list of options. It's kind of like a little menu. And so hit Green Girl Studios. And that launches everything you need for today. That's where if you want to watch this class again, you can click the link. And then right at the top are the 3 toggles that we launched today. You can see there's already a wait list for them. So join the wait list and we'll make sure that you will get first notification when we restock these. And then here are all the beads that, and I'm just scrolling through, that Cynthia used in the design. And then here's all of the Green Girl Studio that we have in the shop. So some really, look at those carrots, and there's some fun stuff.
I know, I don't know what I was thinking about.
I love it. It's so cute. And then here's the past classes we've done, the knotting class and the bunny moon necklace.
That was a fun one.
All in one spot. We're just going to have to keep doing classes, make this longer and longer. So just a reminder of where to find everything. What are you going to be doing in your last time in Tucson?
Oh, well,
what's coming?
You know what? I like to go or I say one time, but I like to go hike in the forest. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Ooh.
So, and when I say forest, I mean the cacti forest, because it's not like regular forest here. So it's pretty fun to see all the colors and textures. There's a lot of like dusty mauves on those prickly. Have you seen them? They're alongside the road. They're cacti. They have these great big paddles, but they're like purple. They're a purple, almost a blue purple. And I love taking pictures and making like almost like a board of color ideas for my next bead blend, or like the next. I mean, it's the color inspiration. A lot of my inspiration comes from being outside and I'll see a neat branch with lichen on it, and it just like last night. I don't know if you caught. I don't know what time you got in last night, but the sky here.
Oh my god, I could see so many stars. It was gorgeous,
like fuchsia magenta sunset.
Oh, it's sunset.
So Tucson has outstanding sunsets, and my daughter and I were like trying to take pictures. And so what we'll do is we'll zoom in and we'll catch a piece. We'll like crop it to get a piece of color that has everything we want.
Color mosaic.
And we're like, this is what we want. We're looking for this.
Just take it to the gem shows, and
this is what we're looking for.
That's so smart.
That's how a lot of times we'll find a color blend, because pretty much if you look any kind of color theory, you can find that in nature.
You can find nature. So
that's
true.
How you can learn, is just looking around you. So
love that. Well, let's see. The last shout outs I have to give are, so this was our first class of the week. We're going to have one every single day this week at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. So I hope you'll tune in or watch the replay. And then we still have 2 more live sales in Tucson. So Tuesday and Wednesday morning at, 10 a.m. Arizona time. So that's 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. Sam's going to show off the goodies that he bought in the last 2 days. So if you want first dibs, that is the best way to do it. So I hope you'll join us for live sales and classes.
I saw a comment that said, are we going to put birds on both sides? I think not.
I wasn't planning on it.
You only need one.
Yeah, just one toggle, and then I'll just bead or something all the way around.
One of the things I like is to make something that is like multifunctional. So it's also a focal. It looks good anywhere you put it.
Yeah, you don't even have to use it as a toggle. That's true. It could just be a centerpiece.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when I'm wearing a necklace, it'll go right to the front. I'll push it and I'll be like, oh, that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, that bird could just hang straight down.
Yeah, you could do it that way. There's a number of ways to string it. So I am personally a big fan of multifunctional pieces.
Oh, cool. Well, I hope you guys will also search Green Girl Studios Gang, the Facebook group.
Oh, yes, that's our gang.
Yeah.
You can post pictures of things you work on, and I love seeing
it. It's so really good inspiration.
To see the creativity of all the folks and all the things that they make. So if you want to see some really cool designs from your fellow beaters out there, it's a good group to join. And we try to be as active as possible.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah. And then like the Green Girl Studios Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you can check out their Sunday live sales and classes and inspiration. So a lot to check out. And come back to the shop. We're going to have more Green Girl Studios over the next month. I'm planning to release a bunch of new things. So thank you again.
All right, thank you all.
We appreciate
it. We had a really good time with you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.